oatmeal for the freezer because my kids and my husband love this stuff and they have been going through it so quickly during the summer. So I'm gonna make another double batch for the freezer and I'd love for you to join me. I'm gonna make it in 2 separate bowls and then we will put it in 2 different pans. I just realized that I do not have the 2 pans over here, so maybe I should go get those pans. Alrighty, so 1 batch makes 1 pan, so I'm gonna make 2 pans. This will last us for about 4 breakfasts. I usually don't eat it, but the rest of at least 3 or 4 other people in our family eat it. So if you have really big eaters, probably 1 pan. If you have 5 in your family or 6 in your family, 1 pan is just enough if everybody's gonna eat breakfast. But at our house, not everybody eats the same thing for breakfast, so this will last us for about 4 breakfasts, these 2 pans. A 1/3 cup of butter melted. So I already melted the butter. I have the butter melted in here, and so I'm going to add 1 to this pan and 1 to this pan. So I'm gonna put that in there. So 1/3 cup of butter melted. Need 2 large eggs. It's really hard to break an egg like this. It's better to just do it down like this. And we need a 1/3 cup of raw sugar or brown sugar. So I have this sugar that I got from Aldi, which is a great deal on sugar. We're gonna put 3/4 cup in both of these bowls. 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. So if you can see, we're just making this, and then I'm putting the sugar in there. 1½ teaspoons of baking powder and 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. So we're gonna put that in each of the bowls. And then 1½ teaspoons of vanilla. I usually don't measure vanilla, I just kind of dump it in. So we're just gonna dump it in. All right, so we mix that in. And if you can see, we're just making the sauce or whatever we want to call it. And then we need 1 teaspoon of cinnamon and a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. And then all that's left is to put in 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of milk and the oats. I love that this is a recipe that you can make with ingredients that you buy at Aldi. So that makes it really inexpensive if you have an Aldi store, or it's ingredients that you probably already have on hand and that you can buy in bulk. Okay, so we just need 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of milk. Mix that around, and then all we have to do is add in the oats, 3 cups of oats. And then to freeze it, you can either just freeze it in the pan unbaked. That's what I do, and then we just thaw it out the night before and then bake it that morning. Or you can go ahead and bake it. I like to freeze it unbaked. Or if you don't have extra pans, you can even freeze it in a Ziploc bag, or you can freeze it in a pan, but you can line the pan with foil, and then once it's frozen, you can pull it out of the pan and wrap it up, and then when you are ready to cook it, you just stick it back in the pan. So that way you don't have to keep a pan in your freezer if you don't have a lot of extra pans. 6 cups, 3 in each. So we're gonna do, this is a 1/2 cup, so I'm gonna do 6, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then we're just gonna mix this up And then I let it soak for just a tiny little bit, and then I'm going to pour it into the pan. You can see what it looks like. You can do so many different kinds of add-ins to this. You could add raisins, you can add any kind of dried fruit, you could add chocolate chips. I know that there are peanut butter, there's pumpkin baked oatmeal. If you look on Pinterest or you look online, there are so many different kinds of baked oatmeal recipes. You can also just top it with chocolate chips. Once you've cooked it, you could then scoop it into the bowls and then top it with a few chocolate chips and some nuts and some brown sugar. Whatever you like on oatmeal. You could put apple slices in it. You can just do so many things. So spray the pan, put this in the pan. So if you can see, I'm just spreading it out. And if you like it thicker, you can make it twice this thick, and then it's going to be chewier and not as crunchy. But we like it a little thinner and a little bit crunchier, so that's how we make it. So there's one pan. All right. There we go. And then I just freeze this. I just cover these with foil and freeze them. And then when we're ready to use them, I pull them out, stick them in the stick them in the fridge overnight, and then they're thawed in the morning. We just stick them in the oven, bake them, and then we just scoop them out into bowls and serve them with milk. And that's that. And my family loves this. Loves this, loves this. And I haven't done all the math on it, but I believe that it's less expensive than cereal, especially when I've gotten everything marked down. It's a special breakfast. It's so easy to make. My kids can stick it in the oven themselves. And the other fantastic thing is that it's pretty healthy for you too. So there you go. There's your baked oatmeal.